This podcast is produced by the Harwood Productions Podcast Network. To learn more about the network and to find more of our shows, visit us online at www.harwoodpodcast.com.
I have to tell you, one time my family and I were visiting Philadelphia, and we went to an ice cream parlor, and we had what they called the Great Pumpkin Sundae. It was pumpkin ice cream with caramel sauce, whipped cream, and pecans. Well, it was unbelievably delicious. So I'm going to show you how you can recreate that today. The most important thing, though, is making the pumpkin ice cream. So today we're going to start by getting our ingredients together. So we need to measure out a half a cup of sugar plus 2 tablespoons in a little bowl, and then separating out 5 egg yolks. Then in a medium-sized saucepan, we're going to get 2 cups of 2% milk. Then we need some kind of bowl or large measuring cup and a strainer that will fit on the top of it. Now over at the mixer with our whisk attachment, we're going to take our 5 egg yolks and our sugar, and we're going to put that into the mixer, and we're going to start that on a medium to medium high speed and just let it go for 2 minutes. Put your timer on, and after 2 minutes it's going to look very light and fluffy like this, and then you can just turn the mixer off. Then we're going to take the milk and put it on a medium heat on the stove, and we're going to bring it to a boil, which takes about 12 to 13 minutes. Now, when it's starting to get close, you're going to see a lot of steam coming off the pot like this. And then just as it's coming to a boil, you're going to see the skin and you're going to see the bubbles underneath it. This is where we want it to be. We don't actually want it to start bubbling up, heavily. Just bring it to a boil like this. Then what you're going to want to do is take the milk off the heat, bring it over, get the mixture going again, and start dribbling the milk in about a tablespoon or so at a time. Now, the reason you want to do this part slow is if you put the hot milk in with the eggs too quickly, it will start to cook the eggs, and we don't want that. So just dribble it in a little bit at a time. Then take that exact saucepan, put it on the heat on a medium-low temperature, and then pour the mixture right back into the pan. Now make sure you have a wooden spoon and an instant read thermometer nearby, because what we want to do is we want to get that mixture up to 170 degrees. Now we're about 135, so we're going to need to stir this. Now you can't not stir this. It's got to keep moving, because again, we don't want those eggs to start cooking on us. But it doesn't take very long, maybe 3 or 4 minutes, and you'll get your temperature up to 170, and that's where we need it to be. So just keep taking the temperature of the mixture, and like I said, in about 3 or 4 minutes, it'll get up to 170 degrees. And once that happens, we stop, we take it off the heat, and pour it through our little strainer contraption. Now, in a minute, you're going to see why it's so important that we strain the custard. Even though we've cooked it at a low heat, the eggs are thoroughly cooked at 170. We didn't want to scramble them, though. But even though we took all that precaution, look at these little bits of solids we get, and we definitely don't want that in the ice cream. So once you strain it, then just let it sit on the counter until it gets to be about lukewarm. Then cover it with plastic and put it in the refrigerator to chill for about 2 to 3 hours. Then after the 2 to 3 hours, this is nice and cold, and it's time to start adding our flavorings to it. So the first thing we want to do is get some pumpkin, and we want 1 cup of pumpkin puree. Now, if you have fresh, great. I don't, so I'm using canned, but it's just canned pumpkin. It's not pumpkin pie, just pumpkin. And go ahead and mix that in with your whisk. You've got to break that pumpkin up a little bit. It tends to kind of want to lump on you. Then for our spices, we're going to add a half a teaspoon of cinnamon, a half a teaspoon of ginger, and then I like to use fresh nutmeg. So I have one of these little nutmeg mills that I put over a little bowl, and we're going to measure out a half a teaspoon of nutmeg. Then we just want to go ahead and make sure that everything whisks together. Now, when you're working with spices like this, sometimes they want to float at the top, but don't worry. As soon as we get it in the ice cream maker, it will all blend nicely. So here's our ice cream machine. We go ahead, take the top off, take the dasher off, get your bowl that's been chilling in your freezer, and pop that in, and then put the whole thing back together. Get the dasher in, get the top on, and get the machine going. We want it turning when we start to put our custard in. So once it's going, we go ahead. This is one of the reasons I like this large measuring cup, because you have to pour it in through the center like that, and it's nice and easy and controlled. Go ahead, pour that in the center, and then it's just going to take about 20 minutes, and you've got some great soft serve pumpkin ice cream. Now, once it's ready, you take it out of the machine, bring it over, and we need to harden off the ice cream. You'll see this is great for soft serve, but it would really melt quickly. You couldn't really scoop it at this point. So what you need to do is scrape everything off that dasher, and then get a freezer type container and just spoon that ice cream into that. And then you just want to put a lid on this and put it in the freezer, and it hardens off really nicely, in about an hour or so. Well, this pumpkin ice cream is the real deal. It tastes like pumpkin pie. It's not these fake flavorings that we tend to get used to. This is real. It tastes fantastic. And I just get some caramel sauce that they have at the grocery store and put that on top with some chopped pecans and a little whipped cream. And I'm telling you, it is a fantastic sundae. Now, if you want to give this pumpkin ice cream a try at home, just go to our website, visit the Sundaes with Cindy show notes, and I'll have the recipe there for you. Also, if you have any questions, please send me an email. I'll see you next time.